I'm back with another 100 days challenge, and this time I'm on Scorched Earth. In order for me to complete this challenge, I need to kill this manticore, but I've also set myself some personal challenges like taming a rock column above level 100, taming one of each type of wyvern, and also killing the alpha death worm. Day 1 began with me spawning near the red obelisk and quickly realizing how this whole map was basically a furnace. I made some extremely swag armor to help keep me cool, then brutally murdered a parasol. Then I had to build a house as I was dying from heat stroke. I also tamed this buddy and named him. Before the end of day 1, I just gathered a bunch of resources. On the morning of day 2, I tamed this high level raptor. Speaking of high levels, for this playthrough I actually did override the difficulty and I set it to 8, meaning that the max level dinos that can spawn is 240. Now that I had a raptor, I was able to explore more freely. So I went up the mountain and then this boulder fell on my head.
What the f— Oh my god, that scared shit out of me.
Anyways, I got some crystal and built a spyglass much quicker than my last 100 days. I also gathered some metal. And then I don't know why I decided this was the best way to descend, but I just jumped off and parachuted. And then of course my raptor would get stuck. I don't know what I was thinking.
No.
And now I was also stuck in midair. Anyways, I made it back to base and got some water. And then I ran back to the mountain to rescue my raptor. And luckily he was fine. I then found this level 80 Anki and I decided to try and tame it. Which was really easy as these guys are super slow. If you haven't noticed already, I've got a lot more done in 2 days than I did in the other 100 days. And that's because in Scorched Earth the days are approximately double the time that it is on the island. So if I wanted to complete this challenge in the same time I completed the island challenge, I'd have to do it in less than 41 days. Whilst the Anki was taming, I built some extra swag armor. Then I ran back with an Anki saddle and I named my boy Clump. No idea why again. Then on the way home I knocked out this low level parasol for berries. I appropriately named the parasol and then he was actually a machine at gathering berries. At the end of day 2 I packed up everything and I decided to go and find a permanent base location. On day 3 I reached this little open area which I thought was perfect. I gathered lots of sand so I could build some adobe and slowly continued to build up my base. But then I got bored, so I decided to adventure with my raptor until I eventually found this level 200 Thylaco. So like the amazing ARK Pro I am, I tried to bolo it.
Not today.
I managed to get away and went up on this rock and tried to tame it. And then like the idiot I am, I leaned too far forward and... I tried to find my way back on foot, but I got eaten by a pig. I then went back again looking for my raptor, but this time I brought the parasol. Unfortunately, this was not the best idea. I decided to stop trying to go get my stuff unprepared. I quickly tamed another parasol. Then on day 4 my jerboa started making this weird noise. Turns out it was because of a storm. I don't know what that means, but I hid in the house and quickly built a roof because I was really scared. Please let me know what the storm actually does, because to this day I have no idea. Either way, I found this Procoptodon and I tried to bolo it, but I think he was stuck anyway. So I shot like 50 arrows into its head and it knocked out. Then I saw that it wasn't eating the berries, so I had to Google, and these guys eat rare mushrooms. I don't know where the hell I'm getting rare mushrooms from, but I tried to see if I could get them from just harvesting with my parasol, and I got one, and then it took me absolutely ages to realize that this rare mushroom didn't actually come from the berry bushes, but instead these little like flower bushes on the floor. And yeah, basically I just wasted a bunch of time clearing every bush I could see. But oh my god, how I can't even explain how worth it was once this guy tamed.
Jesus Christ.
I then noticed something really strange, but I took advantage as this Morellatops was stuck in between my dinos. So I just decided to tame it. It was really high level as well, 216. Whilst he was taming, I decided to try and go rescue the long lost raptor. It took me a bit, but I eventually found him and he was safe. It's quite funny, this is the second time I've left a raptor somewhere stranded. Anyways, I brought him home safely and I named it Morellatops Janice. It just felt like a suitable name. Also, look how cool this is. She drinks water and then she stores it and I can drink it from her. On day 5 I tamed this Dodic and then decided it was time to get an RG. So I went over to these rocks in the desert and I found this level 216 RG. Of course, like the absolute pro I am, I do not need to use a trap. Instead I just run in circles and hope I don't die. And he almost got away, but luckily I'm amazing at this game and I managed to hit it.
Yes.
Once he tamed, I named him Shade as he looked cool and was like a shade. I don't know. Tried to make my way home with the RG, but on the way I got abducted by this capra.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Anyways, I made it back, I got all my stuff and then we went back home. On day 6 I finished building my house for once. I then decided to extend it a little bit and add a fabricator. Then my first sandstorm came, which I don't know what it meant again, but I just kept doing what I was doing. Well, I do know that it made me move extremely slowly. I then built a chemistry bench, a generator and a refrigerator. By the way, I cut out a major part of these recordings, as you can tell. It's mainly the resource gathering because it's just me doing this, either with the Dodic or the Anki on metal. On day 7 I built an industrial grill. And why did nobody tell me that the chainsaw is so good at gathering wood? Anyways, the reason I wanted to gather all these resources is because I wanted a fence around my whole base. On day 9 I decided to explore the map as I was not too familiar with it. On day 10 I built an industrial forge and then I found this level 192 Thylaco, so I decided to tame it. This went much better than last time as I didn't mess around. Once he tamed I gave him the most fitting name. The reason I wanted to tame this guy is because of the bleed effect they apply when they attack. So that means I'm able to kill rock elementals. Why would I want to kill these big fluffy rocks? Well, this is why. On day 11 I built a really small greenhouse. I also knocked out this level 208 Dodic and then I built 7 cryopods. And then my RG got attacked by a death worm. Obviously I had to make them pay. On day 12 I flew inside this church and turns out there was a cave, I didn't even know. I decided to wing it and I just went in with the Thylaco. I almost died as well by falling off, but luckily I was fine. The Thylaco made short work of everything inside here, even the midget rock golems. I got the artifact inside of here and then I also got this red drop. As you could hear, I was very excited by the chainsaw blueprint, but I never ended up building it. I went to the World Scar thing, I think it's called, where the wyverns are basically. I found this level 280 poison wyvern egg, but I was too scared to take it. On day 13 I went to another artifact cave, and I safely secured the other artifact. Then before the end of day 13 I knocked out a piggy, and can you guess what I named him? Anyways, on day 14 I went to another cave. I got this red drop and then I also got the artifact, of course. Then I found this level 224 RG, so I decided to tame it. I didn't really need it, but because it was high level and I like RGs I just took it anyway. On day 15, I went back to the World Scar because I wanted to get my first wyvern. Now, the only way to get a wyvern is by getting a wyvern egg and then hatching it. And to raise that wyvern, I need wyvern milk, which I can only get by killing an alpha wyvern. So, I built this auto turret thing and then got the alpha wyvern to follow me. My RG almost died because of the burn effect, but I got lucky. Now that I had the wyvern milk, all I needed was a wyvern egg, so on day 16 I went back to the World Scar with the other RG whilst my main one was healing, and I found this guy. Then I built an incubation pen for the egg, basically just 50 campfires. And then he hatched and he looked so epic. I decided to name him Mushu, not because I googled dragon names or something. On the morning of day 17, Mushu was fully grown, so I took him for his first flight. He was so epic and he could breathe fire. On day 18, I leveled up Mushu lots and then I went back to the World Scar to kill loads of wyverns and get talents which I needed for the boss. On day 19, I painted my gear my favorite colors and I looked super swag. Then I flew back to the World Scar to look for more high level wyvern eggs, but I didn't find anything, so I just posted up on this rock and took some cool videos. Then I went to the World Scar once again, but this time I had an epic battle with this alpha wyvern. Now that I had all of this wyvern milk, I was able to complete one of my personal challenges of having one of each type of wyvern, and whilst I was at the World Scar I grabbed some eggs, so on day 20 I raised these 3 puppies. On the same day I went back to these rocks near the desert and tamed this Uranus. He successfully tamed, which was good. On the morning of day 21 I found this level 144 T-Rex and I decided to tame it just in case I wouldn't find a higher level. If you watch my other 100 days you know how long it took me to find another T-Rex high enough level to breed. However, shortly after I found this level 208 T-Rex, but I didn't care, so I still tamed it. Then on the morning of day 22 I found this max level T-Rex and it was also a male, which is what I needed. This guy also knocked out fine, but then he got hit by something. So I waited for him to wake up until day 24 and I knocked him out again. And then, I don't even know what to say, just watch this. So, yeah, I wasn't gonna wait for him to wake up again, and I just tamed him like this, and I named him Time, because he took so much time. I then took the T-Rexes out to the desert to level them up. The best way to level them up was by killing death worms. As you can see, I gained a whole 32 levels just from one death worm. On day 25 I killed some more wyverns and then carried on leveling up my T-Rexes. On day 26 I gathered the last remaining lightning talons I needed, as I was planning to do the boss on alpha difficulty, so I needed 20. Then I started breeding the 2 Rexes for my first baby for the army. On the night of day 26 I went to the World Scar again. On day 27 I kept breeding my army. Look how cute they are. On day 28 I saw this weird fog in the sand, and at the time I did not know that this was the alpha death worm.
Oh.
I tried to kill it, but Mushu was kinda low, so I had to abandon. I could not handle losing Mushu, so I flew back home, but once he was all healed up, I brought the hit squad. On day 29 my Rex army was nearly complete. Now all that was left for me to do was to tame a rock elemental above the level 100 and kill the final boss. On day 30 I flew around the map looking for a high enough level, and I found this guy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So instead of being sensible and researching how to tame these guys, I built the crappiest and smallest trap out of adobe. Then, as you might have guessed, he broke right through it. Then I flew back home to get some behemoth stone gateways, and again at this point I did not research how you tame these guys and what they can break through and can't break through. So I let Mushu tank for me, and I was trying to tame him whilst the trap was still intact, but then this happened.
Abort. No.
I decided to join Mushu whilst this hyena laughed in my face. I couldn't give up though. Mushu did it for me. I had to tame this rock elemental. I grabbed my other high level wyvern Loki and I flew back and got all my stuff. On day 31 I tamed this Parasaur. The reason I tamed this guy is because you can put the cannon on the back of him and you're able to adjust your shots better for the rock elemental taming. So I made all the cannonballs I would need, and I fortified where the rock elemental was stuck with some metal pillars. And on day 32 I began trying to tame him again. It was going pretty well at first. As I was hitting him, I'm looking for the number 450, which means he's getting tamed. But sometimes I would hit him in the body where it did 1800 damage, and this is not good. This means I'm killing him. Then the Parasaur was literally like 2 hits away from dying, so I had to be really careful. But the rock elemental was also really close to getting knocked out. It was all so scary. But then, I don't know, I think the stars must have aligned or something, and...
Yes, yes, yes. 2000 HP.
This absolute unit, PP, survived with 100 HP. I waited until day 33 for this guy to tame, and I gave him the only fitting name for a rock elemental. I then took him home and made a saddle for him, and he was like a transformer, which is pretty cool. Now all that was left was to kill the alpha manticore, so I packed all the T-Rexes up and once again said goodbye to everyone. This was it, the end of Scorched Earth. I headed for the green obelisk and set up my Rexes. I also brought Balboa, of course, and then I just activated it. Before this boss fight, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you. I reached 160 subscribers after posting the first 100 days, which is just incredible to me. I did not expect any of that to happen, and I'm just very, very thankful for you guys. And yeah, thank you very much, and I appreciate you for watching my video. Now, unfortunately, Balboa did not make it, but I still had no other choice but to try and kill the manticore here and now.
Let's go!
And yeah, the boss fight went really well, and yeah, this is the end of Scorched Earth. I had loads of fun making this. Again, the editing does take 50 years of my time, but it's worth it because I enjoy seeing the final product. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, please let me know, and I will continue making these as long as you have been viewing them. For now, it's goodbye, but remember, I appreciate you, and yeah.